Hi, it's Emily, or Emmy Rose 22A. Welcome to Crafty Accountability, a place to keep me accountable on my crafty adventures while sharing them with you. Today is Monday, March 6th, 2023. Welcome to episode 13. I'm happy to be here to share my February making with you. I just really want to thank everybody for watching. My videos have been doing a lot better lately than they have ever done in the past, and I really appreciate that. I would love it if we could maybe get some interaction on my videos. Just let me know what you think your favorite project is, or what you're most excited to see my progress on next time, or the finished product of. I would love to hear that. I have so much to share with you today. I am kind of in like wanting to craft all the things between my videos and my whip bingo that I'm doing with Yarnaceous and Fangirl Fibers. I have just really been wanting to be in a finishing type mood, so but I'm also trying to keep my focus on what my plans are and things like that. So we are in my craft room today. I hope it's cluttery, so I hope the background's not too distracting for everybody. Let's start with my finished objects. I have one Yarny finished object, which I wasn't sure I was going to work on, and then I had to. It's my corner to corner baby blanket. The yellow and blue yarns are Big Lots, a Big Lots yarn. I don't have the tags for them. I talked about it last time. It's really pretty. And then for the border, I ended up using Loops and Threads, which is the Michaels brand. They're baby Cuddles in white. And I just did a sweet little, I think I did a single crochet row, and then I think I just did a single crochet and then the scallop. I love a good scallop border. Some shells. I've washed it and everything, so it's looking a little fuzzy, but that's just the yarn, not like, but I think this turned out super sweet. It's a decent size, not humongous, but like, you know, good enough to cover a baby. So, and that's done and can go in the baby blanket pile. I'm kind of to a point where I need to decide what I'm going to be doing with my baby blankets, because I have 4, 5, 6 of them finished that I had no purpose for. So I'm kind of been holding on to them, hoping for a good like charity donation type situation for them. If I don't see something like that soon-ish, or when I need the space, then I may put them in my Etsy store and try to sell them. I'm not sure. So that's the only Yarny thing I finished. And with that one, I just didn't want to put it away. Like, I had an idea of what I wanted, and I had found the yarn that worked, and I just didn't want to put it away with the idea already in my head, because I'd probably forget it. So I just decided to go ahead and finish it. The other, I guess, finish is my daughter's 5th birthday was the 24th of February. So we had a birthday party. It's the first time we've done like a party with friends for her. We've always done family parties, but so last year I made her a birthday shirt on my Cricut, and it said hello for, like hello and then the word for, I do believe. And it was really pretty and sparkly. And so I asked her what she wanted this year, and she says, well, my other shirt says hello for, so I want this one to say high five. Like high five, not like high five. So I looked online, and I will have to link the Etsy shop where I got this. I forgot to look at it before, but so here is her shirt for this year. This is the SVG. I just Googled high five, and this is what we found. So this is her cute little high five shirt, and all of her party accessories like coordinated. So I did her invitations, and her favorite colors are pink and red, so she wanted everything pink and red. She chose that. So there's her invitations, the outside, and then the information I just printed on cardstock inside and stuck it inside. And then these were the tags I made for her. Hooray, it's Tabitha's 5th birthday, for her school goodie bags. They were the cellophane with the twisties, so we tied some yarn. They were clear, so I wanted to add a little bit of color. And she chose her yarns. There's her favorite color, Mom's favorite color, and Dad's favorite color. So she chose the purple, red, and blue for the yarns there. And then I made for her birthday party, I made other little goodie bags. So thanks and a high five for celebrating Tabitha with us today. And just little goodies in there. And then I made, and sorry, these still have, these were actually in the cupcakes. I made cupcake picks. So all her cupcakes. She had chocolate cupcakes with chocolate frosting and red and pink sprinkles. And then I made cupcake picks. And the 5s from these were what I used for the goodie bag 5s. Sorry if that's all showing up backwards. It looks backwards in my viewfinder. I don't know if my camera fixes it or if it's all backwards because I'm in selfie mode. So all that took me a while to put together. So that was it, but it was fun. And I had it all done like ahead of time, which was really nice. I'm usually a last minute night before, staying up all night trying to get stuff finished, and I didn't do that. So that was refreshing, I guess. So let's get onto my whips. We'll start with my Yarny whips first. Sorry, all my stuff's, because I'm in a new location, things are new and weird. Well, not weird, different. So I worked on my niece's, her Slytherin sweater. This is the, let's see if I can show you. Oh, I can't even get the whole thing in camera. It's gotten, let me pull this so you can see. This is the armhole. So I bound off for part of the armhole, and now I'm working up the back of the neck area. But let's see, I should be showing you the other side because that's where my markers are. So that's where I was, my old Patriots, showing you where I was last time. And from the bind off, which is right here, which is where I split it for my arms, I need to do, I think, 73 rows about. I need 12 inches. And I think I've explained this before, that I do better if I count. So I know my gauge is 25.5 stitches per 4 inches. So I divide that per inch, and I need 12 inches. So then I multiply, and it came up to about 73. So I have 7 markers, blue markers here. So there's 10, 20, and I probably have 27 or so. And so every 10 rows, I'll scooch a marker up, and it helps this system. Not only do I not have to keep measuring, but I also don't have to like keep counting, and I don't have to even go like, oh, 10, 20, 30, 40, because I have 7 markers that I put on at the beginning. So I know as I take them off there, I'm where I need to be, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I will then, like when I get to my next 10, I will take this off with all his little followers, and then he'll have his danglers, and the next one I'll take them off. So I know I don't even have to count by my 10s. I just go until I run out of markers. And actually when I have 1 left, I'll probably measure to make sure I need to go my 10 more or whatever. But anyway, it helps keep me like from having to count a whole bunch and measure often. So I really would like to get this sweater done. I'd hoped to have this part done by the end of January or February, and I didn't. So I'm just upping my goal. I wanted the back panel done for February, the front panel done for March, and then the sleeves would be done in April. That's not, well, that can still happen. So in March, I just need to do the front and the back panel. And the details for that, it's Mrs. Weasley's Home Knit Christmas Sweater by Marta Schmarta from the Knitting Magic, the official Harry Potter knitting pattern book. And the yarns I'm using are Cascade 220 Superwash in Army Green and Space Needle. And I am knitting a hybrid of 2 sizes. I took one of mine, it's for my niece. I took one of her sweatshirts that she loves the fit of, and that's kind of the fit she was looking for her sweater. And I took the measurements and figured out what would work for that as far as stitch counts and stuff goes. So I'm not sure exactly which size I'm doing because I'm mixing and mingling. So hopefully it'll all go together. My kind of plan is when I get this one done, I want to lay it all out and measure everything up to make sure it's working properly. But I did my kind of progress spreadsheet like I do, where I set up, I know I did 96 stitches or 96 rows before the sleeve split. I know I'm gonna have 73 rows after the sleeve split. So I can calculate how many stitches that is. and I know about how fast I knit, and I always round down. So I know how many like stitches per minute I knit, so I know how long it's going to take me to do that many stitches. So with the front and what's left of the back panel and the front panel, I have about 17 hours of knitting so to do this month, and that's really not that bad. I get about 2 hours of crafty time after Tabitha goes to bed at night, so that would only be about 9 days. And I have, well, I mean, that's the 6th already, but I have plenty of like 9 days left to try to get that in, so I feel pretty good about that. Let's see. The other thing I worked on a lot, and that's probably why that didn't get finished, was my husband's granny square blanket. They're right in front of me, so pardon the top of my head. I have his 165 squares all finished. So I've got all the middle squares done. I was able to get, let's see, he needed 165 squares, so I was able to get 159 squares out of his grandma's yarn. So I needed 6 more squares after I had used up everything in the colorways that I wanted to use for him. And if you kind of noticed, we have, and there's navy over here too. You can see it, like this corner kind of shows it pretty good. We have a rainbow. This is red. It's not showing the most red, but red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. My blue's a navy, which is closer to indigo, but that's fine. But the yellow she had, which is the yellow down here, there were only 5. Oh, it's right there. You can barely even see it. There were only enough to get 5 squares. So what I did for the last 6 is I went to Michael's and I bought a skein of Red Heart Super Saver in bright yellow, and it matches pretty close. They're a little bit different. I don't even know if on camera you can't even hardly tell. They're a little bit different. It's a little bit darker yellow. And since we have, so the next numbers of squares that I had were 11. I think I have 11 of the blue and 11 maybe of the red. So we wanted 11 like rainbows. I think they're going to come from the corner. We're going to have them go like, there'll be 5 over here, the 1 in the very corner, and then 5 down. So there'll be 11 rainbows that come down, and it'll just go in rainbow order. And because they'll be kind of starting from different areas, they'll kind of stagger. So that'll be the 1 upper corner, and then we'll figure out how to finish it off with the rest of the squares. It's kind of a scrappy thing. Anyway, so that's why I picked the yellow, because I needed 6 more squares. I had 5. That put me to 11, which was how many rainbows we could feasibly get with the other colors we had. And so, but we needed more yellow to make that happen. And it just worked out perfect that I was able, I only needed 6. I got 6. We're good to go. So, like I said, we'll kind of see how they play out, because it's going to be kind of scrappy for the rest of it. Like, I don't know, because we have I have quite a bit of brown. I have 2 different shades of purple. So then I have this, I think this is pretty, this is called salsa. That's the colorway this is salsa. I think that's funny, but it's really pretty with the brown. I mean, obviously, they coordinate really well. So I don't know if we're going to do something kind of trying to keep those together, like maybe down in the other corner. I don't know. We need to get it laid out and planned out. I need to order my yarn for joining. I am going to use Red Heart with Love in there. I think it's pewter is the gray. It's a darker gray, and then black. And there's only 2 places I know of that you can get Red Heart with Love, and that's Joann's and Hirschner's. And I don't prefer to shop at Joann's. I don't like the way they handled the pandemic and the way they treated their employees through that. So I prefer not to shop there. And so I need to order through Hirschner's, and my sister has some stuff she needs to order from there. So I've been waiting to do that order with her. I had mentioned this before, the tags from any of the yarns that had tags. I have kept a hold of them. Put that back down for you. Just because I think it's kind of fun. But here's the salsa, a Red Heart classic. And then it goes that way. Although like I said, I don't know if this is backwards to you. It looks all backwards to me. So that one's a salsa. Oh, this is the yellow, must be. It's tangerine. And see a fun little price tag, $1.43 for your skein of tangerine. So that must be the orange. Jockey red is the red. But these are, I think these are all the Coates and Clark Red Heart. Yep. Oops. Jockey red. Let's see. Here is, oh, emerald. So that's one of the greens. There are 2 different greens in there. They're just slightly off by a shade. And again, you have another little price tag, $1.17 for the emerald. Then let's see. I've got this one. That's the Temperature SAL in the rust. So that would be this rusty, reddy kind of color. And that is, does it tell me? I'm assuming, oh, there's the Kmart. There's the Kmart sticker, $1.57 from Kmart. That's a pretty big skein too. And then these 2 are, oh, I guess the browns are the same. Huh, I thought the browns were different. But they're both this green oak acrylic. I have no idea. Looks like maybe it was a Kmart exclusive because the label has this Kmart. That's a Kmart thingy on it. So they must have been like sold just through Kmart. These were 2 for $1. And they both have the 2 for $1 on them. So, so those are the browns. Again, just kind of, I think it's kind of fun to have the old school labels to some of that yarn that, like I said, was his grandmother's. I mean, all of it was his grandmother's except for those 6 squares. So I'm super happy with that. It's not a finish, but I do have those squares done. We're going to get the yarn ordered. I need to talk to my sister to see when we're going to put that order in. We might not get it until this weekend. So then I'm kind of just stuck, I guess, until they come, but I do want to get it laid out and get it planned so that as soon as that yarn comes in, I can start adding the black drop shadow. I think I told you it's the Double a Design blanket by Annelies Baes of Vicarno Crochet Designs. And I will have the project pages for them linked below so you can go check out that pattern. But it does kind of the black will go like here on the corner. So it's kind of a drop, and then you do the gray the rest of the way around. And then the next one is the gray. So it kind of gives them that like attic window, the like, you know, set back, shadow box kind of effect. So, I will have to do the drop on all of them in the black and then finish it and join them in the gray. So, my hope for March is to get all the black drops done so that we can start with the joining next month. But in the meantime, I have started on Tabitha's, and I only have the first ball that I'm starting with, and I haven't woven in any of my ends yet. But hers is going to be the pastels. So I started with this one. It's super soft, but it's just, it doesn't even have a label. Most of them don't, but I went through, I think I started explaining this somewhere and I don't know that I finished it, but I went through the worsted weight that his grandma had and I kind of split it out into like dark / brights and pastels. And that's when I figured out I pretty much had enough to do afghans for both of them. Hers is going to be, instead of like is going to have the black around and then the gray for the background. Hers is going to have the gray around because that'll be a darker color. And then it's going to have a cream background. On her pattern page, she has a picture with blankets done both ways. And so it was like it was meant to be. I was like, oh, I have darks, I have pastels, I can do it. And she had a lot of cream. I'm looking over there and I think there's like 7 or 8 skeins of cream and like 2 of white that were in with the yarns too. And I had just pulled those out just because they're not a color. So I will be a little bit short on these ones as well. I think I'm going to be like maybe, well, and I'll go through and, or did I already? I might have already weighed them. I went through with his and I weighed them all and divided. They're about 7 grams a square. So I divided them so I'd know about how many I got. And I did get more on most of them because they're about 7 grams a square. Oh, I did go through and do hers. I can get 128 based on just calculations. And I think I need 135 5 for hers. I'm making his 5 feet by 7 feet, I think. So I think hers is going to be 5 feet by 6 feet. So hers doesn't need to be quite as long as his. So hers, I think I'm taking 2 rows off the bottom. So I think I need 135 and I can get 128. So I may hit that because I know I thought I could only get 147 out of his and I got 159. So I did get a lot more out of his. So I may hit that. And if not, I have a couple of pastel skeins from his mom. So that's where I would pull from. And I do have a couple skeins of cream from his mom. So if I need more cream for the background, that's where I was going to go for that. The background takes a lot of yarn with his, from my calculations, with love, I'm ordering 6 skeins. So, and they're the, not the jumbo skeins, but I mean, they're the big, 7-ounce skeins. So it's quite a bit, I think. So my goal for right now is to do 2 squares of those a day, for the month of March. That'll get me, about 60, which is almost halfway through her squares. And then kind of depending on how the joining goes with his in April, I might be able to finish up her squares. Also kind of depends on how my niece's sweater goes, because that's like #1 priority. My cousin may be doing April 22nd, would be her son's 9 3/4 birthday. So she's thinking of doing a Harry Potter 9 3/4 birthday around then. And my niece will definitely need her Harry Potter sweater if we're going to a Harry Potter party. So I kind of got to get going on that. That's my motivation for having it done, like middle of April. Okay, so that's all the yarny stuff I've been working on. That's all. It feels like quite a bit. Well, because these crochet squares took up quite a bit of my time, and all of the, let's see, that's why they're kind of split into sections in here. So these ones on these 2 piles on this end were done, but I didn't have most of the ends woven in, so I had to weave in all those ends, and all the rest of these I did. So I probably had 20 done, and I did the other 145 this month. So I did a lot of squares and weaving in of ends, because there were lots of ends to weave in. So I'm super happy with the progress on that. I almost have an empty, well, I have a third of the way empty shelf over on my one bookcase where that yarn was at. So Tabitha's her pastel yarns are on the one end and the cream yarns are on the other end. So when I'm done with this, that whole shelf should be empty. So that makes me super happy. I'll probably just move something else or put something else down there, but it'll be nice to have those yarns like used up. Okay, so I think that's all of my yarny whips. Let me pull out my my cross stitch. You guys, cross stitch, it's stealing my heart. I'm having so much fun cross stitching, and I want to stitch all the things. I've started watching a bunch of floss tubes, and I want to stitch all the things all the time. So you're gonna start seeing a lot more floss, like cross stitchy things. I'm going to wait and see how it goes, like how much I actually end up doing and whatnot. I might start splitting my videos, because there's a lot of like the cross stitchers do what they call floss tube, where they talk about their dropping threads. So I might start doing, like, in the middle of the month, do a floss tube video. At the end of the month, do a regular Crafty accountability. We'll have to see how much it starts taking over or whatever. But the first project what really just, I don't know, caught my heart into the cross stitch is my Temperature SAL. I need like a backer board to be able to put this on. But so what this is, I'll hold it up a little closer so you can see the top. It started over here, and these are the days in January, so the 1st through the 31st, and then it comes back. The way the arrows are going are kind of the way it goes, so it's going to snake through. So February came over here, and the way this one is set up, it is every 3 degrees has a temperature. So mine goes, I think, up to 100 degrees. I know freezing and below is one temperature. Yes, 100 plus is a color, and then it's split by 3 through, and then 32 and below. I'm doing Fahrenheit. I live in America. And And then it's, like I said, every 3 degrees in between. So I think I have 25 colors. So, and this is, let me see. It's from Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, the pattern is. I'll try to link to that down below. I'm doing mostly the colors they called for, except for one of them I couldn't find. Like Michael's was out of one of the colors, so we swapped it for another. Number 312, or no, it was 3765. I don't know, it was a bluey purpley color, and we just picked a different one. I think we might have picked something a little more bluey. We kind of went with what it went with on either side. And then she had it set so it was 35 and below was the bottom of the scale, but I really wanted freezing and below to be the bottom of the scale because we hit freezing here. It is, the freezing and below is this dark purple. And these are the highs. I am using AccuWeather, and I'm doing the high for the day is my thing. So this super dark purple here, 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 here. I have some down in February too. Here, 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 here. Those are when the high for the day was freezing or below. So as you can see, we have quite a few of those here in Utah, and we will have quite a few where the high is above 100. So I really wanted my scale to go kind of full circle. She has a severe, a moderate, and a mild. So depending on like what the climate's like where you live, you could choose your scale. And the severe goes from 105 down to below 0, which our high never goes, our high is almost never below 0. And then the mild just goes between 50 and 90. So if you were more cooler temperatures, they're just 2 to 2 degree ranges. The other one's probably a 4 degree range. Anyway, I chose moderate. I added in a color. I added in a yellow. I felt like there was a little bit missing up in it's pretty much rainbow. You go red up at the 100 is probably super duper red. There are some like pinky colors up there, so it might be kind of a pinky color, which I know isn't rainbow, but I'm talking general rainbow order. And then it goes through the Roy G. Biv down to your violets down in the cold temperatures. And the blues are the warm, and you can see I had a little bit of blue in January. We had a 47, I think, degree day. And the closest I got in February was those two. And they were a 40 something, but that's the warmest we've been. So, and I stitch this every Thursday. So I do have, the second was the last one I did it March 2nd. So March will come back. And what I've done is I did the border all down this side because this is where your, like the year goes in the middle, and you can do like, I'll do late in Utah. And then over here, it'll be my name. I think that's what it is. And then down here, there are some pretty, they kind of go in the rainbowy order. There's some flowers and whatever and whatnots. So it's just a pretty picture down here. So I would really like to get my frame. Part of the thing where the frame goes back and forth, like I need this side for March, but I will need this side for April, but there's April right there. So I have March and April over here. So I don't have to bring this side back down until June. So I have some time. But I would love to get the frame all done, this filled in, my words filled in, so that this just becomes a once a week on Thursdays. I just stitch in my 7 days, and that's all I have to do on this. So I'm like having stitchy Thursdays. So this is what I'm working on. Thursdays are going to be my whip days. Stitchers are really big on like having certain days be certain things, and I love that. So like on the 4th, they call, a lot of times they say flags on the 4th. It's patriotic. They do, because the 4th of July. So just on the 4th of every month, you stitch on something patriotic. On the 14th, you stitch on something Valentine's. On the 25th, you stitch on something Christmas. And then on the 30th or 31st, you stitch on something Halloween, because not every month has a 31st. So the last day of the month, you stitch on something Halloween. And I really like the idea of that, because I'm a big one on, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. I mean, today's the 6th, St. Patrick's Day is the 17th. So it's like, I'll start St. Patrick's Day stitches, and then St. Patrick's Day will come and go, and I'm not done. Or projects, not just stitching, and then I will put it away, put it aside, because Easter's coming. So then I'll start something Easter. I won't get Easter done at all. So then I'll put it away. So then I'll start something summer, and it'll be like, oh wait, now I need to do 4th of July. So I'll start something 4th of July, and I won't get it done. So I don't get my things done for when they need to be done, and then I put them aside, and that's how I end up with so many whips. So I really like the idea of just focusing on those projects on those days of the week or of the month, so that like when the time comes around, I may have a couple of smaller Valentine's finishes. I do also have quite a few cross stitch whips over the years, my oldest one being right at 30 years. I think I started it when I was 16 and I'm going to be 46 in a week and a half. So I'm not positive where that one is. Oh, am I just kidding? I think I see it right now. That's too funny. I have bins over in the corner here behind you, and I just glanced over and I see my wooden scroll frame. So I'm pretty sure it's right there, because that's after I get my temperature stitch completely caught up. I want to work on an old project. That's my that's going to be my Thursday focus, to get through my old whips. I also have one. I started a cross stitch for when I got married the first time in '99. So that one's 24 years old. So I would really love to get those two finished. And I have others. I have one I started for my niece who's 16. It's her birth announcement one. I have that one. I have one I started maybe before that or after that. It's a Noah's Ark. I'd wanted it for my child. My child's 5. It's not done. And then I just have various other ones that I've liked here and there that I've started and I rarely finish. I finished one for my aunt. I gave it to her for Christmas this year. And then I have one finished for my sister that I need to frame. So I have finished cross stitch projects, but I just don't finish a lot. And I'm also, being in my craft room, I get a little distracted. Maybe this isn't the best place for me. On my bookshelf over here, I have these boxes of frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 3 frames in each, so that's 18. And I was doing little cross stitches. They're ornaments. They're these beautiful glass like mirrored ornaments, and I think you're supposed to put a picture in them, but I was doing little Christmas motif cross stitches to sell them. So if I find those, that's part of the problem, is my stuff's in these bins over here, and I believe at last count I had 18. Maybe more. There may be 20 now. I'm not positive. But the last time I knew there were 18. There's also stuff on top. Anyway. So they're in there somewhere. So as I find my cross stitch things, one of my goals is to sort the things so that similar things are together, so that it is a little easier. Like, okay, this is all fabric, so it's got to be in the fabric bin, kind of a thing. Okay, back to whips. I had a day where I just really wanted to stitch, like just cross stitch on something. Oh, and I was waiting for my, I'm using a Q-snap. It's these little tubey things with the poppers on top. I was taking that off so you could see the stitch better. So I was waiting for a Q-snap to put my temperature stitch in. I really do enjoy working on a frame. If it's a small thing, I don't mind stitching in hand, but with this one at least, the fabric was fairly like stiff and non-cooperative. So it was really like stressing my hand, and it was making it hard to stitch, and the Q-snaps making it much easier. So I had started on this, and I was waiting for my frames to come, so I really wanted to stitch on something else. And I have a stacker bin that has like, there's stuff on top of this, but like these type of, it's got 12 of these I think in it, and they have various projects in it. That's a quilt block of the month. Anyway, there's one of them that I had been putting my cross stitch stuff in, so I knew that was there, so I went and found it. A bunch of them don't have the floss in there. I think I found the floss container that the flosses for those are in. So anyway, I picked one that I knew was all contained, and it is a little ornament. Who is this? Designs for the Needle. Oh, it's a Janlynn. They call them Wizzers. I think it's because there's this metal twirly hanger that goes on the top. So he's a little snowman ornament, and he's on a plastic. It's like a plastic canvas, but it's much smaller. It's for stitching. A plastic mesh maybe is what they call it. They call it plastic canvas, 14 count plastic canvas. So Anyway, when I picked him up, I had just the white of the face. No, the face was all done, not the black part, but the face stitching and then the blue stitching. So I have finished up the rest of the stitching. I'm working on the back stitching. I ran out of white. I think for his head and for the blue back here, I was doing 3 strands, and the instructions clearly say 2 strands. So everything else is done with 2 strands, but I think that's why I ran out of the white, because I was doing 3 strands on his face. So I have some snowflakes to finish up, and then I just have to cut him out and fully finish him. But he was a lot of fun to stitch on, so I'm super excited to get him done, and he'll be on my tree for next year. Like I said, he's super close. I just need to do those white snowflakes, and then it's then the stitching, like all of the stitching will be done, and then he'll be fully finished. And in watching all the floss tube videos, I have seen this technique, or heard of this technique called railroading, where if you're using 2 strands, when you go to cross your X, you put your needle between the 2 strands. It kind of splits them out, gives you better coverage, and it makes your stitches lie flatter. And I don't want to start that on any of the projects I've already, like, that are partway done, but I'm ordering a couple things. At Nashville Needlework Market was this last weekend, and there are some really cute designs coming out there, and I've done a pre-order through my local needlework shop, Shepherd's Bush in Ogden. And so I have 2 kits coming for that, and there's 2 or 3 more that I'm going to kit up when we go for my birthday. That's my birthday present. It's going to be cross stitch stuff because I am obsessed, like I said. And I want to be stitched. I really want to stitch on even weaves and linens, so they're like nicer fabrics. And if I'm paying that if I'm paying the extra money for nicer supplies, I want my stitching to look as pretty as possible. So I wanted to practice my railroading to see how it worked, and if I liked it, and if it was going to be something I could do, and if it even made a difference, which it does. So I have this kit. I had this little kit, How I Roll, and this kit is by it's an old kit too, Dreams Time. English, like, that was tough to say. And I mean, you can even see it was like, this is printed on the thing that it's supposed to be $7.99, but it was $3.99. And this is how I roll with this little Sushis, and he's a cat. Oh, he cracks me up. My sister's best friend passed away a couple years ago, and she was a cross stitcher, and my sister got all of her cross stitch stuff, and this is one of the kits that was in there. And I asked my sister if I could have this one, because he cracks me up. And his little Sushis, there's beads for the Tabiko, for the fish eggs that go on top. So I only started this to try railroading, and I love it. I think it does make a difference. I was really happy with my results. So I just worked on this for like a weekend, a day, just a couple hours, just to kind of try to get it in there. So I just have a little bit of this peachy color. I wanted to get those finished. I don't believe it was in the kit. There was supposed to be a strand of peach and a strand of pink, and I have 2 strands of pink, and the peach in the picture is very different than the pink in the picture. So I just found a peach that I have, and I didn't know if I would have enough, so I started with that. And so it's the sushi on the tray is what I kind of have going on. The brown is the goldy color is the tray, and so I have some of the sushis there. And like I said, I was just kind of trying my hand at the railroading, and I really like it. So this one will be put away for a bit. Like I said, my Thursdays are going to be temperature stitch first and then whips. And this one, it's now a whip, so I could work on it if I wanted to, but I would really, really like to get those old whips done. My 2 especially really, really old ones. The one, it's a beautiful violin with music and flowers, and I play the violin. That's why my mom bought it for me. Like I said, I think I got it for my 16th birthday, and she bought me these beautiful wood scroll frames for it. And I think most of the main stitching is done. There's kind of like shadows in their half stitches, and I think that's all I have left. I feel like since I've been picking up stitching, I stitch a lot faster than I used to, because it used to kind of frustrate me how slow I was. So I'm feeling like I'm a lot faster. I don't know if I really am. I don't know exactly what that's all about, but I feel faster. Oh, here's my other one. I have one more cross stitch whip to share. And this is I told you I'm always chasing holidays, right? Yeah. So there were Pinker and Pumpkin had posted their cute little St. Patrick's Day display. And they do a lot of free patterns. I will link to their website below. And a lot of their patterns involve sheep, and we are a sheepy family. My dad's name, well, his name was Robert, but you know, they call Robert's Bob. And so it was like a joke that the sheep were calling his name Bob. So, and there's a lot of other like family jokes in there too. So anyway, my dad has a lot of sheep stuff, and so sheep are very ingrained in our family, and I am a, you know, knitter and crocheter. I love yarny stuff, so I love sheep. So anyway, she has free patterns with sheep in them. And there were two of them, there were several of them I was looking at, and I was looking at the finished size of them, and on 14 count Aida, they would finish at about 3.5 inches. Well, from my temperature, this is on 14 count Aida. It's just the DMC Aida, the super cheap. It's fairly stiff. It's fine fabric. I'm not dissing on it by any means. Part of the reason I wanted to do this was all I had to do was buy the floss, because there were like 25 flosses. You know, it cost me like $14 or something, which isn't that much, but I already had the fabric, which I'm fine with. I love that it's on that. Anyway, I had an offcut from that, and I was like, how big is that? And it was 5.5 inches. So that would be fine to leave an inch on either side. These are either going to be pillow finished or they'll be flat fold finished. So they don't need a lot around the sides. So, but this is white Aida, and these are sheep. Sheep are white. They have like no, and I could do gray, but I really didn't want gray sheep. I really wanted white sheep. So we coffee dyed. I used coffee and tea, and I dyed my Aida. It is smooth. This is the way it kind of dried. I wrinkled it. I scrunched it when I baked it. So that's just the effect of it. It's kind of trippy 3D like. It makes it look wrinkled, and it's really not. And this is the start of one of my little freebies. This is Putting on the Green. So it's a little sheepy standing on a hill, and he's going to have a leprechaun hat, and there's shamrocks all over. So I just started this on Saturday. So I'm making really, really good progress. He's turning out super cute, and I'm going to give these to my mom. The other one's called Luck Truck, and it's a green truck, and there's a sheep driving it, and there's a sheep standing in the back. It's so cute. They're cracking me up. So, yeah, so I'll be getting these done for my mom for St. Patrick's Day. She may get them on St. Patrick's Day. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm usually chasing my holidays, but I'm just waiting for my market order to come. And like I said, on Tuesday, or next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, it is my birthday, and I think we're heading down to up to Ogden to go to the cross stitch store. So I'll be picking up my market purchases and getting the rest of my stuff kitted up for the other patterns. So next month I will have all of that to show you and whatnot. I have always kept my floss on bobbins. Where is my sushi cat? I can show you. Like, I've always done them on either the cardboard. I have some on cardboard, some on, these are plastic bobbins. That's how my mom did it, so that's how I've always done it, and it's fine. It does leave your floss a little like kinky where it goes around the sides, and you have to measure it out every time you need a new length. So in watching the floss tubes, I have seen that a lot of people put them on. These are homemade, but they're they call them floss drops, and some of them look actually like a teardrop type thing. But with this method, you can take a whole skein of your DMC floss, and if you fold it over a bunch of times, it makes about 37-inch lengths, which is a yard. And when you fold it in half to double it up to get your 2 strands, that's 18 inches, which is about what you want for your stitching thread. And then you can use the loop method I learned to secure your threads on the back, which is amazing. You should Google it if you don't know about it. So I found a tutorial on how to make your own floss drops out of a cereal box. This is Honey Nut Cheerios. I don't know. There's the Cheerios. It was an empty box in our recycling that we had, and I said, I'll try it out of this cereal box. Oh, and there you can see the Honey Cheerio. I think they're super fun. I really like that I made them, that they were free. And so here, these are the flosses for my, my sheepies. And for the most part, I'm using the called for colors. One of the sheep, the black for the face and stuff, was a super dark brown black, I think is what it was even called, brown black. But the other one called for black. And so I'm just doing them both with black faces. So because they're going to be kind of, I don't know if they're going to be next to each other or they'll be in the same dough bowl or something. So I figured they might as well have the same, like black faces. And I had black at home. So I think that's the only color I switched out. Oh, and I think the headlight on the truck was a different color of yellow, and it's 2 stitches. And I said, you know, I don't need a different color. And I didn't have it, the other color. So I'm like, I don't need another color of yellow for the headlights. It'll be this color. I get that, like, there was reasoning and everything, but. So anyway, so I made these floss drops. I have like 28 of them, I think is how many I got from my cereal box. And I had the punches on hand. And I had the rings on hand, so like this just goes in with my fabric in my little floss. I had these from, I was using these, I bought a set of these bags to corral Tabitha's like flashcards and toys. She has some games that don't really have boxes, so or I took them out of the boxes and put them in little pouches instead, because sometimes the boxes are huge for this much stuff. So I have 2 of those actually left over. So that's what I'm using for a project bag for that. And then my other stitches, this was getting too full. My aunt gave me this for Christmas, I think last year. It zippers flat. She gave it to us for our diamond paintings. And I've got my temperature floss in the front pocket. They're going to be going on floss drops as well, now that I know that method. So all my stuff's just kind of tucked in here, and it keeps them nice and flat and organized. This is really good, but it was getting super bulky, overfilled. So I needed that. And my mom, several years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, probably bought a kit from our local quilt shop, Sew and Save in Clearfield. And it was for a project bag, like the vinyl front flat, like cross stitch project bags. And so she found that kit for me this weekend. So I'm going to be making that up. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that's all my cross stitch that I've got this month. Is that enough for you? It's a lot. Okay. I'm going to try to kind of hurry through the rest of this. That's all. I think that's all I've been working on. Oh no, I made 2 sets of pot holders. I've taken pictures of them. I'll probably put them in next month. They're gifts, and I'm not sure if the recipients watch or not. So I don't want to show them until they've been given. My mom wanted them, their thank you gifts for their thank you gifts. So after I know that my mom has given them, that they've been gifted and whatnot, I will put the pictures in. So I'm thinking probably next month you'll get to see them. But they're quilt blocks that I do. Like the front of the pot holder is a quilt block. I think they're 9-inch quilt blocks, 8-inch quilt blocks, 8-inch. I think they're 8, so they're probably 8.5 inches. And I do a solid back, and then I bind it, do a hanger. So they're super cute. I really like the way both sets turned out. So I will show those next month after they've been gifted, so we don't ruin anything. My March plans. I feel like it's the 6th and I'm already like, oh, the month's almost gone. Like, where are we at? We're almost a whole week in. I'm never going to get my stuff done. It's fine. Emily, deep breath. It's going to be okay. I do have big plans, big crafty plans for this month though. So, my number 1 is to catch up on my Harry Potter sweater, get the back panel finished, get the front panel finished. I told you I have the timing on that, so I am planning on, like, tonight I will be knitting on that and kind of tracking to make sure I'm on track to get that done. It's kind of going to be my main focus. I really would like to get that stuff done sooner in the month rather than later in the month. I have joined over on Facebook. St. Jude's is doing kind of a knit-a-thon in March. So they have this fundraiser going on, and you just knit whatever, you can knit whatever you want. And you post progress to your Facebook campaign. And you have your Facebook friends donate to St. Jude's. So like I said, it's like a knit-a-thon. So I have started that. I will put a link to that in the description box down below if you're interested in checking it out. So what I'm knitting, I'm hoping I have the finished one in here. I don't know if I brought it or not. Do I have? I swear I have a done one here, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm knitting the Legacy hat. Another group that I am part of on Instagram had posted that the Huntsman Cancer Institute in Salt Lake City, Utah, they're like world-renowned cancer center. Sorry, just one sec. Let me look real quick and make sure that other hat's not in here. I swore I just weighed it yesterday, but I guess I don't know where I put it. So I will have to find that one. Anyway, so they, somebody else had posted that Huntsman has a take a hat at a lot of their stations, and they are out of hats. So my goal for March is to knit hats for Huntsman. I had, like I said, I'm not sure where the finished one was. I made a prototype hat. My mom needed hats. She didn't have any cute hats. And so I had a bunch of this bulky, what are you? Woolly's Thick and Quick yarn. And so I knit up a prototype hat and then another hat, and I let my mom choose which one she wanted. And the pattern is the Legacy hat. I don't even have who it's by. Sorry, bad YouTuber. Anyway, the information will be down below. I'll make sure I put the designer name and everything down there, and I will have it next month. But these hats work up in about an hour and a half. So my goal for March, and then I had part of my reasoning for wanting to make these hats in the first place, like for my mom, and I had thought that I would make more and donate them to somebody. I taught at a chain store a few years ago. I taught knitting, and they did a block of the month. So I had to have samples knit up to have in store. So I have a bunch of these. Their knitting classes were a joke. None of these squares are the same size. They just they don't match up at all. They're not going to make into a blanket on their own. These are blocked. Like this one, look how narrow it is. And I blocked it within an inch of its life. Anyway, these were extremely frustrating patterns. I don't even know how they were going to join them. I don't have them all finished. So I have zero use for these as blanket squares. Well, each one of these squares can make a hat. So, and I've already kind of started, I'm going to unroll these. The green isn't quite enough, and I have another ball. So I'm going to knit a hat a week for, they're going to go to the Huntsman Cancer Institute, and it's for my St. Jude fundraiser. And then these are, so there's a cream one, there's this fun variegated, I believe it's called Calypso. No, Coney Island. I'm like, no, the park in New York. And then this pretty green. And then the fourth one, some of them, I have more yarn in a basket. I just pulled out the 4 for the, some of them are going to have to be like two-tone. Whoops. So I have this dark I'm going to do for the brim, and then the body of the hat will be the lighter gray. So it'll just be the grays. And like I said, some of them will have to be, it takes about 100 grams of yarn to do the hat. And like, these are like 75 each. So when I get done, I'm going to have some of this left. So I'll do a different colored brim. But like, I think this could look nice with the Coney Island. It would definitely look nice with the cream. And I have a skein of the cream, which is like 175 grams, I think. So I can do another cream hat and do cream accents on hats. I have several smaller balls of the Coney Island. Anyway, so these 4 hats are what I'm going to, I'm one a week. So I guess I'd said I was going to knit on my niece's sweater tonight. I'm going to be knitting a hat for St. Jude's tonight. So these 4 hats, I will have 4 hats to show you next month. Like I said, they take about a month and a half, an hour and a half to knit up each hat. So that's really not that much of a time commitment. And then I will be knitting hats after that. I will talk about that next month. There's another campaign that's starting for hats, for knit or crochet hats, and I will, because I had already like kind of committed myself to the St. Jude's Knit-a-thon and I wanted to do these hats for Huntsman, I'm not doing the other hats. Theirs aren't needed until, they're not due until September 1st, so I have plenty of time to get other hats done. And lots of people need hats right now, so like I had said, I talked about my stitching, my holiday stitching, and my Thursdays of every week are for stitching for my cross stitching. I want to do 2 squares a day for Tabitha's for the whole month. And then when my yarn comes, I'm really hoping to get the black done on Rob's squares. If I don't get them all done this month, like it kind of depends. I mean, if I don't order the yarn until like next Sunday or this coming Sunday, like a week from yesterday, it'll take about a week to get here. You know, then we're looking at like a little past the middle of March. So it depends on how long it takes me to do those and weave all those ends in. Cause I mean, that's 300 and something, 20, 30, I think 30, 330 ends to weave in. So that's a lot. So we'll see how long that takes me. And if that goes into April, that's fine. But I want to do 2 squares of Tabitha's a day so that I have hers, a good start on hers. So when I get his all finished, hopefully I'll be ready to start putting hers together. And those are both going to be done this year. And I'm so excited to have them done and have gifts for both of them. If you didn't catch my whip parade, I didn't grab these to show you, which I should have, but I'll have them next month and you'll see them. And they're in the whip parade for one thing, and I will take pictures kind of where I was so you can see what I've done. But there is a bunny stuffy floral, it's called the Floral Bunny, I think, that I'm knitting or crocheting out of the Bernat Velvet yarn. So I'd love to have that done for my daughter for Easter. So I'm hoping to finish that in March. And then I was working on a bunny lovey for my niece, my great niece. So I was thinking it'd be super awesome if I had that done for her for Easter. And then Chelsea of Knitting Tipsy is doing an F Winter Mal make along, you know, to tell Winter to bugger off and do something springy or summery. So I'm really hoping to finish my Blythe Tank by Tinderbox for that. So I need to pull all 3 of those projects out and figure out where I am on them and what I need to do. So I think kind of where I'm already a week into the month, if I focus on 1 a week, I can get those done in the rest of the month. Oh, I didn't even bring it. As I went to write my show notes for this episode, I was really confused. Like, did I work on that? Did I not work on that? I'm not sure. So I've printed out a new thing in my gray crafting journal notebook. I will bring it next month, I promise, to show you. So that I can kind of journal, like at the end of the night, I can say, here's what I worked on. So I'll know. And I put a calendar in the front of it. So like my Thursdays are for cross stitching. I might try to have a set day of the week that I knit my, my hats. And I'll put my like 2 a day on each day, my 2 squares a day, so I can check those off for Tabitha's blanket, things like that. So I know kind of where my goals are. And like, I probably, now that I've just thought of this, will break up my niece's sweater into segments so that I'm to this point by the end of this week, this point at the end of this week, that kind of a thing. Just so I can track what exactly I worked on, because I thought I'd worked on my mom's hat, but the stitch marker's not moved at all. So I'm pretty sure, or the progress keeper. So I'm pretty sure I didn't touch it. I think I didn't because I needed to get those, my husband's squares done and my niece's sweater done. Anyway, so I'm trying to keep a little crafty journal so I know what I'm working on. I also need to fix, my niece got a brand new hoodie, and it's got this like white panel across it, and like the stitching down here, there's a big gap in the stitching that's just undone. So I'm going to unpick the whole thing and just restitch the white across there. It'll be a super quick fix, but I just need to unpick it and restitch it. But I need to repair her sweatshirt. My daughter, we hit the Kohl's clearance. They're half off of the up to 80% off of clearance. And we found her sweatpants, like 3 pairs of sweatpants, but she got a lot of clothes because I think the most I paid for anything was $5. And the $5 thing was a 2-pack of pajamas. Anyway, these sweatpants were like $3, I think, but they're too big in the waist. My little girl's a skinny mini. So I just need to fix the waistband. There's, I think, 3 pairs of sweatpants and a pair of shorts. So I need to figure those. Our Quilt Guild is doing log cabin table runners for February and March. I figured out what I want to do for mine. So I would like by the end of March to have that done so I can take it to Quilt Guild in April to show it. And I'm super excited about my idea. I'm just hoping I can make it work out. Mine's going to be a wall hanging, not a table runner. I don't really have good tables in my house at this point. We need to get some remodeling done so that we have our room set up, and then I might have some tables that I could put toppers on, but I don't right now. So I'm going to do mine as a wall hanging. I'm really excited about it. I have some embroidery projects, an applique that I want to blanket stitch. I showed these in my whip parade, and another embroidery project that I'd like to figure out, kind of break it up into goals. So I'm working on it throughout the months or weeks or whatever. I don't think I'm going to hit a lot of those this month just because it feels like I have a lot of other stuff going on. There is, I have another embroidery project. My daughter's tote bag from Christmas that I would really like to get. I want to embroider a saying on the back of it. And I would really like to get that done sooner rather than later because it's from Christmas. So those are my plans. I have lots. I know some of them are a little over lofty and I may or may not keep up on them, and it's okay. We'll see what we get done. It'll be interesting to come back in April and be like, girl, you did it all. You're amazing. Or, yeah, kind of thought so. A little overbooked yourself. Okay, my final thing I really want to talk about is my acquisitions. I've bought a few things. I don't think I really bought anything in January. Again, I have to bend down the bags over here. So I got some yarn. It's pretty much mostly Yarny Goodness. Oh, except for this one. One of the floss tubers I was watching talked about this. It's I will link their Etsy store below. It's Under the Woolen Willow. They were doing this was my freebie. It's a little paper clip. Oh my gosh, I was like clothespin, safety pin. No. Their information is on the back. They are doing a Word of the Year project. And so they offered these Word of the Year long pillows that they embroidered your Word of the Year. Mine is grow. And it comes with this cute little tag, and it says word grow in the definition to undergo natural development. And she put this cute wool heart on there, and there's a little 2023 charm. So their project is their intention, I guess, is to keep your word kind of in the forethought of your mind throughout the year. So you don't set it in January and forget about it like through the year. So they, I think it's on Instagram. I need to go and follow them. They're doing monthly prompts where you do something with your word every single month. So this just came today, and it's got a little printout with the description of what's going on. So I will link to the Etsy store. I don't know if she's still selling these. I think it might have only been through February. Because it is supposed to be, your Word of the Year you set in January. You should have something. But I just saw them, and so I bought one. I could have made something like this for myself, but it was really cute, and I love supporting small businesses. So, and I'm really excited about the prompts, and so I love that I'm going to have a pillow from them, like made by Michelle, as I do my prompts kind of with them. So I think that's really exciting. And again, and it's got this cute little calico fabric on the back. So I'm excited to have that and have it up. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to put it so that I will see it regularly, but I'm really excited to have that and have it out and about. I can't have my word in too many places. My friend Rebecca does embroideries for me every year. We trade. I'm going to teach her how to knit this year. If you want to wait a sec, I can grab a couple of my older ones or my previous ones. So the first one she did for me was Mindful. And this would have been 2019, I think. So it's beautiful. And then in 2020, nope, that would have been 2020's. Mindful was 2020. It's kind of funny. She stitched that on a plane, so it would have been before everything shut down. Somewhere she went in January or February. So 2021, my word was progress. So I have this beautiful hexagon frame. I love hexagons. And she watercolored in those colored parts are watercolored, and then she embroidered around them. And then from last year, I have finish, and again, it's watercolor and embroidery. Super cute. I love these. They're kind of back here behind my sewing machine. At some point in my life, I hope to have this be kind of like a feature wall with all my stuff, so I have it all back there. Side note, tangent, whatever you want to call it. In my whip parade, I had some stuff out, projects out there that, oh, let me turn off my daughter's alarm. Just one moment. Okay. That I didn't know what to do with. And I had started these little snowflakes. These were out there. I wove in the ends. They're not like starched or anything, but I wove in the ends, and I just kind of have them back here. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them, but I wove in the ends. I put the book away. I put the thread away, and I put the hook away. So these I'm calling pretty much like done for now. I had mentioned I have a couple of ideas of things I would like to do. I would like to do all the snowflakes out of that book, but it's just not on my radar right now. So I finished these ones up so that something can be done with them. They might go on a little banner. They might just sit and wait. But that's one of those 37 projects out of there. Although I've added a couple of cross stitch ones, so overall it's not going the best. Okay, the next yarn that these are, well, not next yarn, first yarn I have to show you, the next thing I bought that I have to show you, is my yarn from Ula and Leah. I will link to their website down below. They do, this is made in Mongolia. So in the late summer, early fall, they do a Kickstarter for their yarns. These are all, this is 85% sheep wool and 15% cashmere. It is made in Mongolia. They have baby camel, they have yak, they have like pure cashmere, and their pricing is great. I think I paid $15 a skein for these. If that, so I mean, it's really, they have semi-limited colors. In that they only have like 10 or 15 colors. So, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's plenty. So I support it. It just barely came. That's the only thing about it, because it is in Mongolia, and with the supply chain issues that everybody's been having, and especially being in like the more, not super remote, but I mean, they are farmers and whatnot. So they are a little bit more remote. The yarn is fully processed in Mongolia. It is spun, you know, it's shorn from the farmers, it's spun, it's dyed, it's like everything is done there. And then there's John, I think is his name, he flies back and forth, kind of, he's here in the States, and the yarn is like shipped like this in boxes to him in the United States, and then he does the shipping on it. So I got the periwinkle because it's a pretty purple, and 4 skeins should be enough for a sweater for me, so I'm super excited. It feels a little, it doesn't feel rustic. That's not the word I would use. It's not scratchy at all. It's a little stiff. It feels kind of like a cotton yarn, but they do have very specific like washing instructions and whatnot, because there is spinning oils and stuff still on it. It is not, you know, it's not as like rinsed and stuff as some of your, you know, hand dyed yarns are, and they explain all of that in there. So you can still buy from them. He has extras that aren't part of the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter funds getting the yarns made and everything, so he has some still on the website. They're not as great a deal as they are with the Kickstarter, because obviously with the Kickstarter you're pre-ordering, so he has that money and he knows that like you have already paid for your 4 skeins, so you get a better deal than, you know, now he's got some and it may or may not sell. So Um, you may just want to follow them, keep an eye on them. If you're interested in anything like this, I think the cashmere skeins are like $30 a skein, which is a killer deal for a skein of 100% cashmere. And the colors are gorgeous. So it is a good way to get some affordable yarn, and it's kind of like the small business, because he does like the farm co-op type things. So you're working with smaller farmers in Mongolia that care for the animals, and they are all, because they are this smaller like family farm type situation, they are all like ethically treated, and that the farmers are getting like a fair wage and all that kind of stuff. So it's very ethical, I guess, as far as like the people involved go. So I'm really excited to, I don't know what sweater I'm gonna make with these, but I'm really excited to have them. And I would love to give them a try to see if I want to like order more next year, or this year, I guess it would be. Anyway, like I said, I think I bought these maybe in like July or August, maybe. So he's going to be starting up the new campaign soon. So you may want to follow if you're interested in that. And then, where are my other skeins are on the bottom. I bought Yarn Cafe Creations, Christy. She is a Utah dyer. She lives down in Payson, Utah. And I love supporting local dyers. She did a mystery skein sale. So it was a bundle of 4 skeins, various bases, various colors, complete mystery. You didn't even get to put in like what colors you prefer, anything, just complete mystery. But they ended up being $15 a skein. And I got the DK because I need some DK for a sweater I'm trying to put yarns together for. I actually didn't get any yarns for that, but that's okay. I got Ribbon Candy, which is a Christmas color. And this is on her 85-15, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And I think these are going to be Christmas socks for me. I want the 25 pair of Christmas socks, so I can wear a different pair of Christmas socks every day in December. I have not gotten a pair of socks to work for me yet, so I don't know how that's exactly going to happen, but I want it. So that's what these are. This is going to be set aside for, ideally, is a pair of Christmas socks for me. This one is Dazzle Feather, and it is on her 100% superwash merino base, and this is so fun. Tabitha needs something out of this. I think Dazzle Feather is probably one of her My Little Pony colorways. The colors are so cute. And then this one is Cutie Mark Crusader, which is My Little Pony. And this one it's a lot more muted than the other, and it could be, this one's 100% superwash Polworth, so it's a different type of wool than the merino. So it probably just takes the colors differently. If they were the same base, they might be the same vibrancy, but I still think this one's really pretty. And I kind of like that it's a little more muted than the other. It's just different, you know what I mean? It gives you a different kind of aspect for it. So, and then the last one I got is Tumbleweed. And this one is 100% superwash Blueface Leicester. So again, another sheep thing, another type of sheep breed, not sheep thing. Heavens to Betsy, girl. Anyway, my husband has requested a hat out of this. So it's your nice gray with your kind of greens and browns. So very neutral. So I think he's going to get a hat out of that. So that's what I got there. And then the last things I purchased, I know, are we done yet? Is Yarnacious, another Utah yarn dyer. She had a trunk show at our LYS, local yarn store, Needlepoint Joint in Ogden. And so I went down to see Maggie, and Tabitha came with me, and we got some yarn. I was only going to get one skein, and I really wanted a skein of DK to go with that sweater project I was talking about. So I got this. This is her Bronto DK, which is a 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And this is in the colorway Union Station, which Union Pacific runs right through Ogden and Salt Lake, actually. In Ogden, there's a big, like where the depot was, it's called Union Station. And so there's it's kind of set up now to be like an events type place. I know there's big craft shows and stuff there. I think you can hold weddings there. So it's more of an event thing. They have the trains on display. They have a big train museum. It's really pretty cool. So this one's called Union Station. So I love that it's like a local, like ode to a local, or a nod to a local thing. And the colors are super pretty. And I think this is going to go nice in my sweater. It's kind of going to give me some like accent colors in there. And then the other one I got is on her Salta fingering, and it's at 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, which when this works up, I did a tank out of 3 colors in this base on the fingering, and it is the softest yarn. It's amazing. This colorway is called Badlands, and I just couldn't, I don't even know what it is, but the pinks and greens and the cream, it was so soft and pretty, and I just needed it. I'm not sure what it's going to be. It doesn't have a purpose yet, but I just needed it. And then the other thing we got, it's kind of buried over here, so just a sec, let me find it. I got a ruler. Where are you at, buddy? Oh, heavens. Maybe I won't find it. There he is. My daughter saw this, and she had to have him. He's a tape measure. I said he's a ruler. He's a tape measure. He's a snail, and his head is where the ruler is. So there's his little head and then his, oh, I didn't finish up quickly enough, so I have to hit my daughter's alarm again. So anyway, and he's got a little push button on his shell to suck him back in. So my daughter went around the store measuring everything. She measured Maggie's sweater for her, see how far she had gotten. So this has not made it into a project bag yet because my daughter told me I can have it at some time. And that's fine. We bought it for her, and it's super cute. You can never have too many tape measures, in my opinion, at least. I did also pick up the floss for my temperature stitch along, the floss for my sheepy stitches. I got that skein of bright yellow yarn to finish my husband's Afghan, and the scraps are actually in the scrap bin now. And I got the 2 skeins of the Loops and Threads Impeccable in the colorway Butterscotch that I will need to finish my filet crochet bunny Afghan or blanket, and it's in the bin with those. That one I truly am putting away to work on when I can only work on crochet, and when I could only work on crochet this month, I worked on squares, and so that's the way, or in February, and that's what it'll be for March as well. So I have plenty of like just, I'm gonna call it mindless, but more simple crochet stuff to work on, because like amigurumi, like stuffies, amigurumis for me, I have to count every round. I have to count, so they're very focused. That is not mindless at all. So that's what I bought. Like I said, I've got my birthday's next week, so I will have some birthday goodies, and we're going to the cross stitch store to go birthday shopping. Usually we go to the yarn stores, and I am feeling good about yarn. I have a huge yarn stash. It's not huge by a lot of people's standards, but it is large by a lot of people's standards. So my goal for the year is to have more out than in. So the Ula and Leah doesn't count because I bought that in like I said, I think it was July or August that I bought that. So as of right now, I have 6 skeins that have come in this year, and I'm pretty much only counting my hand-dyed yarn because I only buy commercial yarn for a project if I need it. I've bought 3 skeins of commercial yarn. They have projects they are going into. I don't just, this is supposed to go to a sweater, but I don't just buy it because it's pretty or because I love the dyer and it's a good deal. So I have 6 skeins that have come in so far, so I need to figure out something to get 6 skeins working on projects so I can get 6 skeins out. And I just really don't want to overwhelm myself with more yarn. I have so many projects I want to start. I already know. I have so many whips I want to get done. I already know. But I do love supporting like local dyers and my local yarn stores and things like that. So I will be purchasing some here and there. I am somewhat okay with being a collector of pretty yarns as well as a knitter and crocheter. So, oh, I did order a new handmade wooden hook, and so there's a shawl I want to crochet, a 2-color shawl. I don't even know which 2 colors I'm doing it out of. I haven't gone through and looked yet because I kind of have other stuff to do before I get to that. But I will be starting that probably in April. So I'm really excited for that. And that'll be 2 skeins out. Oh, and in April, Great Basin Fiber Arts Fair is happening, so I will be buying some yarn at Great Basin. So that's another reason why we're not going yarn shopping for my birthday. So we'll see. My husband and I are trying to kind of figure out what the rules for the skeins in, skeins out is, because we feel like if it's already in a project, it's kind of already appropriated, which makes sense to me. And then once it's in a project, it's out. But if I start a 6 skein sweater and I spend an hour on it and I'm done, like that's not 6 skeins out of my stash. That sweater's not done, it's not truly out of my stash. Because I think the crochet sweater I'm looking at that I got the Badlands for is 6 skeins. It's either 6 or 7. So, and I bought the bulk of the yarn for that on our vacation in June of last year. So I would really like to get to work on that. I think it's going to be a really cute, cozy sweater. You can use scraps for it. So it's going to be kind of color blocky, scrappy looking. Mine is intentional, I guess. I'm going to have 6 or 7 skeins that I chose to coordinate. So mine's not going to be so scrappy. But yeah, I have lots of plans. I have lots of yarn. So I'm kind of trying to limit my hand-dyed yarn buying. I'm afraid it's going to be overtaken by the cross-stitch buying, but we'll see. I knew I had a lot. I didn't know I had quite this much. So I apologize for talking your ear off. Again, let me know down below in the comments, like what you're most excited to see me work on, what you're excited to see me finish. You know, just anything. I would love some interaction. I'm getting new subscribers, which I love. Thank you for sticking with me through these long episodes. That's another thing. Maybe if I break it up into like 2 episodes a month, if I keep them more like craft specific, it might be a little shorter. I'm not sure. I may have to break it up into even more and do like cross stitch 1 week, sewing 1 week, yarny stuff 1 week. I don't know. Maybe I think too much of myself that I'm going to be making too much progress. So I'll have to talk about all the things. We shall see. Until next time, I guess. Like I said, hopefully we'll see. Well, I will see you at the end of March at some point. I'm not sure how far into April I'll be, but I am trying to do kind of a monthly roundup, and hopefully I'll have a little better records for next month as to what we've got going on. And hopefully I'll have it before Easter. So when I get the Easter toys done, you can see those before I gift them out. And if not, I will record something before I gift them. If I don't get a chance to record like the full episode, I will at least record a little short. Okay. So I guess until next time, have a rosy ray day. Bye.